And I'd like to welcome my guest, David Clarke. How you doing?
Yes, welcome. Yes, I'm here.
It's lovely to see you.
I understand from the last time we spoke that you were seeking to perform your punk rock opera in Winchester Prison. So can you tell me about this and why Winchester Prison?
We initially thought of Aylesbury YP because that's the town where Michael and I came from. But Winchester Prison has recently been in the news with some bad reports, and I felt we could assist in the change for the better that may be needed, and a different approach might be helpful in rehabilitation. And so I wrote to the Governor with my proposition. I also shared our vision with Caroline Dinenage, the MP for Gosport, and Mark Hoban, the MP for Fareham, and both of them are enthusiastic about supporting our project. Caroline said she wanted to attend the first performance. Mark Hoban wrote to David Rogers, the MP, the new Governor of Winchester, supporting my request.
That sounds really good. Have you got support from anywhere else?
Yes. My book has been seen by 30 prison chaplains, and the new edition, specially written for prison inmates, takes into account the criticisms made from the first draft of the book. Oh, and by the way, Prince Charles has written to thank me for a copy that I sent him and for keeping him informed about the work we're doing with the punk rock opera and the desire to help prison inmates. I've also had a request for over 400 copies from prison inmates from various prisons, including HMP Belmars, HMP Parkhurst, HMP Manchester and Risley and others, and we intend to provide these copies free of charge to inmates, so we're looking for a means to fund this venture or project as well.
Well, it's good to see you both now. David, I hear you've had some other very interesting developments with your project since the last time we spoke.
Yes, we've been directed by David Rogers, the Governor of Winchester Prison, directly to Gary Wright, the head of reducing reoffending in the Ministry of Justice, and he says that he's sure he will be pleased to look into ways in which Winchester might be able to host this event. And only that, Steve Brine, the MP for Winchester, has contacted me, offering me any support that we need.
That sounds good. So can you tell me what qualifications you have and why you think you can be of any help to influencing criminals to avoid recidivism?
I'm a lecturer, and I've taught in colleges of further and higher education to all classes of people, including Muslims and other religious groups, for over 20 years. I'm a Baptist minister. Michael, my brother, after 5 years of his 16-year sentence, turned his life around and he's back on crime in New Billerby Prison in September 2000. This prompted me to publish my first book. After that, we had done extensive work with many former convicted criminals in the jails of the Philippines with significant success. We have written about this in our book, Trojan Warriors. We created or formed the first ever teacher training college in the world within New Billerby Prison in 2002. This was to train and help in the process of rehabilitation of former convicted notorious criminals. We sent and supported our first graduate, that we called a Trojan Warrior, back to his own city. His name was William C. Pollock, a former killer who served 40 years for killing a policeman during a gun running where he got his leg blown off. He now only has one leg. He's just one of many inmates that we helped in New Billerby Prison in our work. Our incorporation, Trojan Horse International, sent him back home on a mission on his release to his city in Baguio, where he worked in Baguio City Jail and Benguet Provincial Jail for several years and has founded 2 churches and a theological school in Baguio City. Now, brother and I are both qualified convicted criminals and have turned our lives around. And a tongue-in-cheek note, as Dave Courtney signs his name with his title OBE, we can say we both have qualified titles called QBE, that's qualified by experience, which very few in the correction industry have. We have worn the t-shirt, done the bird, and we know what we're talking about. I shared my story recently at HMP Lewis with many inmates there, and I've had one inmate write to me thanking me and offering some ideas to help others.
Well, that sounds very encouraging. I understand you've had some more recent encouragements.
Yes, but let me say at this stage, Michael, my brother, died in New Billerby Prison of tuberculosis in May 2005, before our vision of bringing help to many was realised. However, I have shared recently what we're doing to the prison chaplains, as I've already mentioned, and there are over 30, and I've already had encouraging emails from some prison chaplains, including David Weller of HMP Oakwood, who says he's certainly interested in bringing our punk opera to Oakwood. Also, Elizabeth Stockhill from South Yorkshire, who has asked if our punk rock opera is planned to go on tour, and of course it is, as she would like to get clearance to get it performed in the prison where she works. So it looks good, and we do have support.
Well, that sounds very promising. Have you got any more to add, Mike? As I feel sure this project will be successful and a real help to bring help to others turn their lives around from crime and in crime prevention.
Yes, it's all good and very positive. We will do our best to make it successful.
Yes, one final note. In the interest of making this project successful and to reach all kinds of prisoners, I've contacted the Chief Imam of Portsmouth Jami Mosque, who has offered support to our project in terms of education to help in the process of rehabilitation and recidivism.
And I'd like to welcome my guest, David Clarke. How you doing?
Yes, welcome. Yes, I'm here.
It's
Thank you.
lovely to see you.